Welcome to SS1 Music, Term 2. This lesson covers the Romantic period in music history, one of the most emotionally powerful and technically ambitious eras in Western art music. The Romantic period profoundly influenced the development of Nigerian art music and continues to shape the music education curriculum assessed in WAEC. The Romantic period in Western music spans approximately 1820 to 1900. The term romantic does not primarily mean love, rather, it refers to a movement in art, literature, and music that prioritized emotion, imagination, individual expression, nationalism, and the power of nature over the rationalism and formal restraint of the classical period. Romantic composers sought to express intense personal emotions, tell stories through music, evoke vivid images and landscapes, and celebrate national identity through music inspired by folk songs, dances, legends, and histories of their home nations. Music became longer and more complex. Orchestras grew larger, with more instruments and greater dynamic range, from the softest whisper to the most thunderous fortissimo. Harmonies became richer and more adventurous, moving further from the home key for longer periods to create tension and yearning. The piano became the dominant instrument of domestic music making, and composers like Chopin, Schumann, and Brahms wrote extensively for it. Franz Schubert, born in Vienna in 1797 and dying at only 31 years of age, composed over 600 songs, known in German as Lieder, for voice and piano. His songs set poems by Goethe, Schiller, and other Romantic poets to music of extraordinary emotional depth. His unfinished symphony in B minor is one of the best love symphonies in the repertoire. Frédéric Chopin, born in Poland in 1810, wrote almost exclusively for solo piano. His nocturnes, mazurkas, polonaises, and etudes are milestones of piano literature. Chopin's mazurkas and polonaises draw on Polish folk dance rhythms, a key example of Romantic nationalism in music. Robert Schumann, born in Germany in 1810, composed piano works, songs, symphonies, and chamber music. His piano cycle Kinderscenen, Scenes from Childhood, and his Dichterliebe, O Poet's Love, song cycle are among the most celebrated works of the Romantic repertoire. Franz Liszt, born in Hungary in 1811, was the greatest piano virtuoso of the 19th century. He transformed piano technique and composed works of extraordinary difficulty. He also invented the symphonic poem, a single-movement orchestral work describing or evoking a non-musical subject, such as a poem, story, painting, or landscape. Johannes Brahms, born in Hamburg in 1833, wrote 4 symphonies, 2 piano concertos, a violin concerto, chamber music, and a large body of songs. Brahms combined classical formal discipline with Romantic harmonic richness and emotional depth. Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky, born in Russia in 1840, is one of the most beloved of all composers. His ballet Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, and The Nutcracker are the most performed ballets in the world. His 1812 overture, written to celebrate Russia's defeat of Napoleon, uses real cannons. Richard Wagner, born in Germany in 1813, transformed opera into a dramatic art of unprecedented scale and ambition. His Ring cycle, for operas totaling approximately 15 hours of music, draws on Norse mythology. Wagner introduced the concept of the leitmotif, a short musical theme associated with a specific character, emotion, or concept that recurs throughout a long work. One of the defining features of Romantic music is nationalism, the use of folk melodies, rhythms, dances, legends, and stories from composers' home countries to create music that expresses national identity. This was particularly strong in countries that were seeking or celebrating political independence. Edvard Grieg of Norway incorporated Norwegian folk music into his Peer Gynt suite and piano concerto. Bedřich Smetana of Bohemia, today the Czech Republic, composed Mou vlast, My Homeland, a cycle of symphonic poems depicting Czech landscapes and legends, including the famous Vltava depicting the course of the Vltava River. Jan Sibelius of Finland composed his Finlandia, which became a symbol of Finnish national identity during Russian occupation. Antonín Dvořák of Bohemia drew on Czech and, during his time in America, African American and Native American musical traditions in his New World Symphony. This nationalist impulse in Romantic music directly inspired Nigerian and African composers of the 20th century who similarly sought to express national and cultural identity through art music, as seen in the work of Fela Sawand, Akinyoba, and the Zoria school studied in our previous lesson. Today we covered that the Romantic period in music spans approximately 1820 to 1900, emphasizing emotion, individual expression, nationalism, and programmatic content. Key Romantic composers include Schubert, 600 songs, Unfinished Symphony, Chopin, solo piano, Polish nationalism, Schumann, piano cycles, songs, Liszt, piano virtuosity, symphonic poem, Brahms, classical discipline plus romantic richness, Tchaikovsky, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, Nutcracker, Wagner, Ring Cycle, Leitmotif concept. Nationalism in Romantic music, Grieg, Smetana, Sibelius, Dvorak, directly inspired Nigerian art music composers. For your exercise, list the key composers covered today in chronological order of birth and write one sentence about each describing their nationality and main contribution.